Here we go with the Tri-State Audi Knicks postgame show. Knicks and Pelicans tonight. Another decent game from R.J. Barrett. He had 17, but the Knicks were down by 25 early in the fourth quarter. Got no closer than 10 the rest of the way. New Orleans had all 5 starters in double figures, including Devontae Graham, who had 15. Pelicans beat the Knicks 102-91, and it was not that close. Great to have you with us. From our Delta MSG studios, Bill Pito, Monica McNutt, Alan Hahn, Wally Zerbiak. I'm glad you three are the ones that have to sort this out. But let's take the overall view here. Knicks begin this homestand, Wally, 1 game over 500. Charlotte, Minnesota, New Orleans, you think maybe 2 out of 3, maybe go 3 for 3, 0 for 3, and now 2 games under 500.
Yeah, this was a tough performance, and the game was so heartbreaking against Minnesota that it looked like it carried over a little bit tonight. And the big issue is, right now Julius Randle's just in a really tough place. He really is. He set such high expectations with how he played last year, a career year where he was phenomenal. And you can just see it out there. He's just in his own head. And it's a tough place to be because when you're the star of the team and the leader of the team and the guy who he was last year, everyone looks to you. You're kind of like the compass for the team. Yep. And right now the compass is he's in a tough place. It's not easy when you're struggling with your jump shot.
The compass is trying to find direction.
Yes.
Himself.
Exactly.
And that's a problem.
And then everyone else is trying to figure out where they fit. R.J. Barrett's doing a good job. Mitchell Robinson was great tonight. But when you see the guy that has to be there every single night for them to win, and he's really in a tough place where he's in a slump, he's not shooting the ball well like he did last year, everyone knows it's going to be tough to win basketball games in the NBA when your star is not playing to the level he is used to playing.
It's really something, we've been in the building, you were in the building. It is a pressure cooker in there now.
Yes.
It's a pressure cooker around this team, and you can just see it. Like they need some kind of release, and you thought the win in Atlanta and how they won in Atlanta, like you thought getting over 500, you thought, okay, that's how we felt going into this homestand.
They beat Dallas. Dallas has 1 loss in the last 10, and it was the Knicks.
Yes, and so, but all you can feel, though, around this group right now is there's a lot of pressure. And you're trying to figure out where's that pressure coming from. Is it external from the fans? Is it internal among the players themselves, looking at how they haven't been the team they thought they'd be, let alone what we thought they were going to be. But I'm going to say something that I hope is true. This is rock bottom. I hope this is rock bottom.
What have I always said?
Because that third quarter.
What do I always say?
Can go lower.
You think it's bad? It can always get worse in this league.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's why I just said, I hope.
Okay, good.
Someone once famously said, the sky's the limit. I hope this is rock bottom.
Me too. I hope it is too.
Monica, the floor is yours.
Oh, man. I think I keep going back to process. And Wally, you nailed it in terms of Julius Randle as the leader of this squad. But to me, when you have a process, you have a little bit of a buffer when your A1 and your leader is struggling. And while RJ has turned a bit of a corner and Mitch was solid tonight, we've talked about Evan coming into this game. Evan got 8 shots up and has 6 points. And there were points tonight flat out where the Pelicans were the hungrier team. They were the team that had more energy. And whether it was the emotional hangover or not from the Timberwolves games, to Bill's point as we open it, you got to see the opportunity of this particular 3-game stretch. Are you going to steal one? And so it's just, oh man, it's a plethora of things that make you shake your head.
That's the point I'm trying to make. When you say that the opponent was the hungrier team. This kid, Alvarado, comes in, kid from Brooklyn, played at Christ the King. His coach is here. Spike Lee gave him the seats. His parents are here. His family's here watching him. And he was playing with fire. It's how many times are we seeing that the opponent, somebody on the opposing team is in the building and they're playing with fire and they're feeling it. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Where's your fire? Not that it's your home building. You're struggling. Where's your fire? How come that's never the thing we're talking about, that someone is trying to take over and not let something like that happen? And that's where it comes back to where is that coming from and how are they going to fix that? They've got to fix it. And they're running out of time to fix it.
So the Knicks in the first half, guys, 42 points, tied their worst half of the year in terms of point output, Allen. But they're only down by 4 at the half. Third quarter, though, New Orleans outscores them 35-15. That was the ball game.
Third
It wasn't
quarter of
as bad as the first half was. They were very much in it at the half.
Well, it was hard to believe they were in it, and they were in it because despite all the people upset about the officiating, they were getting the benefit of the whistles for most of the first half. This was the doomiest of the third quarter of dooms that we've ever talked about because of just how it began. 7-1 run that turned it into a 10-point lead in a blink of an eye. Valanciunas was behind a lot of it, and the Pelicans missed in the first half a ton of wide-open threes. That wasn't the case in the third quarter. And Devontae Graham suddenly got it going. And boy, do we remember him. He's had a couple of games at the Garden, as we know, wearing a different uniform. But that's what happened here. It was the same story of the opposing team was ready at the half to come out and set a tone, and the home team was not able to match the energy level, the effort level, the intensity level, whatever it is. And this is a conversation that has to happen in a locker room. This is something that it goes beyond now answering questions to the media and all those things and us talking about it. Like, you've been in these locker rooms. This has to be a conversation going on in the locker room by now, no?
Yeah, believe me, it's been a conversation over and over and over, and unfortunately they can't get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem to win games in the NBA is you need 4 or 5 guys to play well. Okay,
consistently.
Consistently.
Yeah.
And when they were doing that, they were on a 3-game win streak. They were on a 4-game win streak. Tonight, Kemba 1 for 5, Fournier 2 for 8, Randall 1 for 9. You're not even going to sniff winning in the NBA ever when your 3 of your 4 top scorers shoot those numbers. So you can talk as much as you want in the locker room about it, unless you go out there and you perform and you make shots and you make plays. In sports, it's not about talking, it's about going out and doing. And the thing is, the Pelicans, they went out and they did it. I mean, Josh Hart, 5 for 10. Valanciunas dominated the interior. Herb Jones, the defensive specialist, 5 for 7. I mean, and Brandon Ingram, he didn't even play well, but everyone else did. And that's how you win in the NBA.
Now, bright spot needs to be pointed out for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson, Monica.
Yes.
17 points, 15 rebounds. Pretty even with Valanciunas, who went for 18 and 10. Mitch played a good game.
Which is a tough matchup for sure. Valanciunas, we described him as a load. He had a terrific ball game. But Mitch hangs around the basket where, again, we're seeing him play himself into better shape. And he's just in his spot. He's aggressive. He's not going to dribble the ball or do a bunch of crazy stuff, but he's got his hands ready. He's active. He's always looking toward the rim, whether that's for assists or for rebounds. I think there's even some plays over the course of this game where he doesn't actually corral the rebound, but you see him giving the effort and tipping the ball, and it winds up having a Knicks bounce. And so, in terms of, okay, how can I help my team? It seems like Mitch is truly stepping into this is where I can excel and dominating in the paint.
And he left a 2015 game on the table because of the free throw line. Once again, where he's been struggling. He got to the free throw line 10 times. He had 10 free throw attempts in this game. So, he was
phenomenal.
One of the pieces that you need.
He was phenomenal.
It's a piece that you need. It absolutely is. I know we're going to talk about defensive effort, and that's what a lot of people get mad about it in the building because this is New York and they love their defense. This was more about an offense that continues to struggle and continues to have like Evan Fournier said. Monica, you mentioned in the pregame. Evan Fournier said this a week ago how we just see who has it going that night, and that's who we ride instead of this is what we do when everybody's got a piece of it. But Mitchell Robinson is one guy tonight that was able to, while the offense was so clunky, take advantage of some offensive rebounds and some pick and rolls and some dunks.
One of the things, speaking of our pregame show, when you talk about those transition points, right, and the way that the Pelicans take the ball out of the net and go, it's simple, right? And I just think everything with this team has just been so laborious. I'm not saying that they're going to all of a sudden jump categories and lead the league in transition points, but everything is just so heavy. First it was the ISO ball. Now we're getting a couple screens on each wing side, but it's just so, there's nothing comes easy. And I guess, Wally, to your point, at the end of the day, guys got to make shots. And that was woefully missing tonight.